And here we are once again going pee break, once again going through Perjan, just Perjan, not to the Podutic. I have to go to pick up something afterwards, after this walk, so we are going for hour and a half, something like that, long walk. And you know, last week I mentioned that I'm getting promoted, you know, so, well, it should happen yesterday. But yeah, the Senate actually didn't had even the, you know, the topic of promotions on their agenda, because apparently it was submitted, documentation for all the promotions were submitted too late last week, so I will have to wait another month. So yay. And you know, bureaucracy, you know, basically the Senate doesn't have to do anything, just, you know, to confirm the decision of the Senate of the university, you know. But yeah, c'est la vie. Naprijdi okrog. Lepa. So yeah. And last week I also, you know, told you about that protest at Plečnik Stadium. And yesterday there was interesting development regarding the story. So to recap a little bit, you know, the Plečnik Stadium as a cultural monument has been sold several decades now, at least 2 decades, to a private investor, you know, multi-millionaire, and who planned to build, well, to rebuild the complex, and also at the same time, you know, construct some apartment buildings around and so forth. Well, the local residents, of course, objected to this, especially because let's say the new complex was supposed to be built on the land that the local residents claimed it was theirs. So basically, you know, you have a stadium. There was nearby like green area where the local residents have their, you know, small gardens, and to the left are some apartment buildings which are also cultural monuments. And you know, yesterday court finally decided, after 15 years, that the property where these small gardens are actually belong to the residents as a functional property of the apartment buildings, and not to the nearby stadium. So of course now it means that, you know, the plan of, you know, creating a new complex while, you know, rebuilding the old stadium is completely dead, because, you know, the current property owner wanted to basically make money from those new buildings, and at the same time, you know, he would finance the rebuilding of the old stadium with the profit from the new buildings. And now, of course, this will not happen. which means and this has been going on for 15 years. So the legal procedure, because you know there were several decisions, verdicts, and then of course one side or the other complained, you know, filed a motion, but this is the final verdict. There is no legal recourse to object to it. And yeah, and if you're wondering how this private investor, developer could got, you know, hold of this land, you know, that now apparent, you know, that never belonged to the stadium. Well, the city municipality sold it to him. So city municipality also considered that property belonged to the stadium and sold it to the developer along the stadium. But in fact, as now the court has decided, it never belonged to the stadium. And this is also, you know, problem that originates, that goes back basically to the, you know, Yugoslavia, you know, the socialist republic, due to the fact that, you know, everything was nationalized, everything belonged to the state, especially, you know, this, let's say, cultural, you know, also the cultural and sports facility that was built by, you know, private investors, and of course a lot of, if not majority of the apartment buildings were, you know, belong to the state. Even the old ones, you know, a lot of the immediately after the war, a lot of the interwar, you know, era owners were, their property was taken away, nationalized, or it was purchased by the state by, you know, let's say coercion. And this is also, you know, quite true for several of like villas, you know, independent houses with garden, because, you know, some politician of the new regime decided that he likes it and he wants to use it, so they found a way, you know, to get hold of the property, you know. Nice looking building, nice looking house. So yeah, that's it. And you know, the stadium is still slowly deteriorating, crumbling. So currently there is basically no need for another soccer stadium, which was this basically what was used before, because we have several stadiums, plus there is actually like an auxiliary soccer pitch just next to the old stadium. Plus we have the Stojica arena, plus, you know, in Šiška we have two. But yeah, people are now, of course, you know, full of ideas, how to, how the private, now the owner, the private investor should, just rebuild the infrastructure and basically turn the stadium like a, park, public park, which could be accessed by everyone. Interesting, that municipality which owned this property before, Liza Greva Tuki, didn't do that, but they sold the stadium to private investor, and now let's say now they are expecting the current owner to do something in into public interest, what is in public interest, and you have several examples for this, where there is some, let's say, road construction or road enlargement. They are building some, let's say, additional sidewalks where there were none before, and of course, let's say, owners of the land, they don't want to sell, and there are of course people who are, they tell them, they will be full of opinion, like you should give up your land, because it's in public good, you should donate it. And one farmer who's also landowner, they want use his land to build something there of public infrastructure. He said to one of these people with strong opinions for public good, he said, he told him, you can buy the land from me, and then you can donate the land to the project. And of course there was no reply. So yeah, we will end on this point and perhaps continue a bit later.